Hey guys, episode 29. Long awaited episode. It's been years. So this, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about in this episode. I just know that I have to do this episode. So it's, one of those moments in life where you just gotta not think and just do. We all have those. So, 29 episodes. This series has flown by. When I want to, I could just fucking pump out these episodes. I could make 5 episodes in a day and publish them all, like separate individually. It's fun to record. I am kind of I am quenching. I can't think of the word. I'm hungering. I'm hankering for the live commentary experience. I recorded way more episodes than I thought that were intended for post commentary. I have one more after this that's going to be post. That'll be episode 30, and then we'll be going back to doing some live commentary. That wasn't necessarily like a scheduled thing, by the way. It's not like I was like, okay, I'm going to do 10 or 5 episodes that are post commentary. I just this is just how it happened. I sat down, I played Toontown, and I recorded it, and now I'm commentating over it. One thing I wanted to talk about, I guess, or one thing I'll touch on, I guess, is, I was watching back the last episode I recorded, where, one of the main topics was the, quote, right way to do things. And, I was just, I listened back to a quarter way through the video, and I feel like, I think I ultimately got what I needed to say across, but, I kind of confused myself listening back when I mentioned Chazers' channel and how he does things. I was just using him as an example, and I was basically just saying, if I made a Toontown series, right, and someone else made a Toontown series, we would inevitably do it differently, probably, and the series might not follow the same format all the way through. And then, of course, to continue the concept, it's a springboard to conceptualize it into an ideal. So, you could continue with the last video, unless you've already seen it, which if you're watching these chronologically, you have already seen it. So you probably understand what I'm saying. But I kind of winced when I heard myself bring up Chazers, and I was just like, I don't know why I used that as an example, and I didn't word it, fabulously, so it kind of sounded like I was comparing myself to him or something, but no, I was just trying to use the quickest and closest example to mind that I could think of. So, right at the end of it's been about a week since I recorded the last episode. It's a little under a week. It's the 15th I don't know when I recorded my last episode, but it's already up. It's ready to go. And I was talking about E3. I ended that episode kind of a weird, because it was a very long episode, you know. I was just commentating. That's the weird thing, you know, about post-commentating is like, you know, it's hard to, like, I'll be commentating, watching back the footage, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, well, I don't want that part of the footage included, but I'm still talking. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I could just cut the clip, but then I'm not even gonna, like, mention it in the commentary. So like, when I'm editing, I'm just talking, basically just talking over footage, which isn't such a horrible thing either. But I still kind of get that feeling where I want it to still kind of be, like, attentive or involved with the gameplay and not just background footage. It is a Toontown Let's Play after all. But, you know, like I said, not every episode has to follow the same format. But it just gets weird, like, if I cut out a piece of footage, or if I don't cut out a piece of footage and I'm not done talking by the end of the recording, I have to be done talking because that's the end of the recording. Like, then what am I gonna do? Go record more or something? Like, I'm not. So, so it's weird. And obviously, I'm doing the recordings and the editing. I only stack recordings so much, you know. And especially, I'm realizing in post-commentary, in the form of post-commentary, I can only stack so many episodes because, like what's happening right now, things are going to get stale and I'm not sure what to talk about, and I'm just kind of ranting or just, like, trying to find things to say, which apparently it isn't going so terribly, but I don't prefer it 100% of the time. So we're gonna mix things around, you know, like I said. Sometimes I'll do maybe a string of post commentary or just a couple or one. Who knows? It's just whatever I'm feeling. So I don't know if I finished my thought there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, because last episode I was, like, talking about E3, because that's been going on this week, and it was the beginning of E3 during that recording, and then I kind of just got cut off by the footage. I was like, okay, see you later. It's just weird. Like, it sounded kind of like, it made me sound kind of, like, out of context, like bitter or something, I don't know, or like it made me sound kind of impatient. Anyway, E3 has been a fucking snooze fest, which I'm not surprised at all. The second day, actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah, when Elden Ring got announced, that was fucking insane. I think that was already announced, maybe. Was it? I think it was announced. Actually, I think the day that I was recording, E3 was gonna start, or it was like the pre-whatever, and then I think Elden Ring got announced. I don't even fucking remember. But all I know is I missed it, and I totally thought that they were gonna talk about Elden Ring. But I fucking missed it because I was downstairs all day, and then I came up and I was like, oh my god, I missed it. And that's basically how the entire week went. But I kind of caught up on all the companies that I remotely care about, and as soon as I heard Elden Ring, about the Elden Ring trailer, I totally fucking let go of. I was like, okay, there's no way that E3 is gonna be good, because, you know, in terms of Microsoft, they really have nothing but indie games to show usually, so it's no big deal there. And you gotta remember the biggest thing is, like, we're coming out of COVID, so a bunch of people were either not working or working lazily. So or unable to work, or many different encumbrances. But Ubisoft, the Assassin's Creed came out last year, so obviously we're not going to hear about it this year. But I think they announced some DLC or something, which I couldn't care less, because I haven't gotten a new Assassin's Creed game in years, even though I've wanted to. And I haven't been invested in the new 2-year cycle of AC. And everything else from Ubisoft is really not my cup of tea. Assassin's Creed is the only thing they really seem to do well. And I had like very little hope that they were going to talk about Beyond Good and Evil, because I'm not familiar with the series prequel, but I am interested in the sequel. I remember seeing that in 2018, I believe. 2018 was the last great year for E3. It's been a few years since we've had a good E3, for sure. And I knew they weren't going to talk about Elder Scrolls 6. And I didn't really think... I knew they were going to talk about Starfield, but holy shit, they really just said nothing about it. And I gotta admit, I didn't see that event live. Like I said, I kind of caught up, but I like skimmed kind of through the VOD of the Bethesda showcase. And first of all, they showed Starfield as their first presentation. And I was just like, that's odd. That's supposed to be the thing that they show at the end, because that's the thing that people care about the most. Every company knows to show the best, to save the best for last when it comes to these corporate fucking, Anyway, so I just thought that was strange. But of course they showed fuck all. And then I think I read a headline somewhere that said it's basically going to be like a Han Solo simulator or something like that. Or like Death Stranding in space. I don't even remember. It's like something like that. And I was just like, yeah, I didn't give a shit to begin with. Or I think they said like Elder Scrolls in space or something like that. Or Fallout in space. Cause like Bethesda games, Bethesda is kind of infamous for like their major titles usually perform the same. Like Skyrim is unbelievably comparable to, or Elder Scrolls, is unbelievably comparable to Fallout. I mean, in the earlier games, it's not as so, but anywhere from like, you look at, I don't know, there haven't been as many Fallout games as there has Elder Scrolls, as far as I'm aware. I'm not a huge Fallout fan, for the record. And Fallout fans are mean, but fucking, if you look at maybe starting with Fallout 3, I don't know, and then just compare them to like from Morrowind. There were games before Morrowind that were still 3D RPG like, dating all the way back to practically, I think, all the way at the beginning of the series even. So, all the remotely modern, like, post, like, 2005, I guess, Fallout and Elder Scrolls titles have all been similar. Whether it's the controller scheme or the storytelling or the fucking, whatever. You could just look at the games side by side and see a similarity. Like, even the graphic style can be completely comparable. So, and I think there's another game they made. Some of their like original ISPs IPs that they've made, like Prey. Did they make The Outer Worlds? I don't think so, but that game I believe is heavily based off of Fallout, made by a different company, and it's just basically Fallout. That's what it looks like. Heavily inspired by, I'm sure. But anyway, you know, so I'm sure what I'm saying is I'm sure Starfield is going to be pretty similar, you know. I mean, games are kind of evolving a little bit to the point where it's like even companies that have old habits are starting to kind of learn to adopt new ones. Like if you look at Assassin's Creed, they did a lot of the same shit for years, and then they learned how to reskin their games and just mix around the controls and just break out of old habits for really no reason other than to just mix it up. It's like, but you know, so I'm sure that, you know, something like Starfield would probably be a little bit different compared to their others, but you know, you can imagine. But I don't care for it. Nonetheless, this year's E3 is, I pretty much, as soon as I saw Elden Ring, I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be nothing special. And that it wasn't. I think we got a Breath of the Wild 2 teaser today. That was Nintendo Direct, and I thought they were gonna steal the show, but even they had a rough year. I mean, I didn't even skim through that. Actually, I did. I didn't really see anything I was interested in personally. I don't really expect next year's E3 to be that eventful either. It could be. It's all about timing, you know? Like, you can kind of, I feel like, me personally, I can kind of sense when it's going to be a good year. You just feel the amount of time that's passed, and you're like, could somebody make a game in this time? And sometimes it smells right. Sometimes it just smells right. I could smell the fucking grease on my desk, and I'm like, yep, somebody's been fucking putting together Skyrim 6. Alright. Thanks for watching, boys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you around. Shake 'em and bake 'em.